Namaste, angels. I'm here to do the general weekly reading, and there's so much going on this week that I don't really know like where to start or what exactly to do. I don't think I'm gonna go over the celestial events. I think I'll try to remember to do them with the dailies, with the exception of I guess Sunday, um, maybe Monday, just to get us started. Because um, well, Wednesday there's a new moon, so we have that going on. Thursday, the new Hebrew month starts. It's the month of Iyar. So I want to tell you some stuff about that because I'm sure I'm going to have some more stuff to tell you about that when the day comes. Similar to Wednesday, I'm going to have to do a new moon reading. Um, what else? On the 20th, so we kind of missed it. Well, maybe this explains why the 20th was so turned up. Maybe, or another reason for it was because that's the day that Mercury went back into Aries. So the Mercury retrograde in Taurus, it sort of turned around and went to Aries, and then it has to come back to Taurus when it goes direct. But right now it's in Aries. So fiery, all that aggressiveness, and maybe the reason why I'm starting with the Emperor, um, which represents the planet Mars and the sign of Aries, primarily. And for me, also sometimes I get Scorpio from this only because Mars is also a ruler of Scorpio. Um, and they can be like this, like with the hands, arms folded, and attitude, and quiet, and very serious, and like mature, I'll say. And behind this is more fire, more fire, more fire. It's the strength card, which represents the sign of Leo. Um, and I didn't do this on purpose. And behind that is the five of fire, this conflict, this aggressive, ugly fire energy that's been coming through lately. So maybe we can expect more of the same as far as that's concerned because Mercury retrograde is in um, Aries. That's a possibility. And behind that, so near but not yet, is the Ace of Earth. So maybe we need to wait for it to go back into Taurus in order for the good times to begin to roll yet again. I'm not sure. Well, one thing that I think will be positive, even in this regard, with the Aries, is that on the 24th, which is Monday, the Mercury retrograde in Aries sort of comes face to face with the Saturn retrograde, which is going to be in Sagittarius. So that actually sounds fun because Sagittarius, and I'm not an astrologer, so they might say, oh, no, that's not fun. That's horrible. But I'm feeling that it sounds fun, and I'm feeling that it's going to be fun. Sagittarius is a youthful, fun sign. Archangel Chamuel is a Sagittarius. He is Cupid. He's going to be shooting love arrows. I think Monday's going to be good. Um, and obviously, I have no idea officially yet because I haven't done Monday, but that's what I feel right now. So, anyway, because of all this, I kind of don't know what exactly to do first, but I think I want to tell you, I think I want to not, again, do the celestial events because I want to read this explanation of the month of Iyar called A Time to Heal. So, the month of Nisan um, was like the month of happiness and redemption. And prior to that, we would enjoy the month of joy. So now this is the like a month of healing. So I want to explain some of that. But again, I'm going to go quickly to. I probably sound crazy right now, like all over the place. But I want to go quickly to Sunday the 23rd to what's going on in the sky this week on astronomy.com. Um, and get that out of the way so I can move on to the month of Iyar. So Sunday, April 23rd, the waning crescent moon appears to the right of Venus before dawn. The two approach each other as the morning progresses, and the moon will pass 5 degrees south of the planet at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Monday, April 24th. For those who like to observe during the quiet pre dawn hours, Saturn offers a visual treat this week. The ringed planet rises around midnight local daylight time and climbs some 30 degrees high in the south by the time the morning twilight begins. It shines at a magnitude of zero point 0.3 against the backdrop of northwestern Sagittarius, where it appears nearly stationary relative to the background stars. Take a look at Saturn through binoculars, and you'll also see the open star clusters M21 and 23, as well as the spectacular lagoon M8 and the Trifid M20. This nebulae is going. You'll see it less than 4 degrees to the east of Saturn. When viewed through a telescope, the planet shows an 18-inch diameter disk surrounded by a stunning ring system that spans 40 inches and tilts 26 degrees to our line of sight. And I'll do Tuesday, April 23rd, too. Look west after darkness falls tonight, and you'll witness the beginning of the winter sky decline. By 9:30 p.m. local daylight time, the lower tier of bright winter stars and constellations barely clears the horizon. From mid-northern latitudes, Sirius in Canis Major, Aldebaran in Taurus, and the three belt stars of Orion the Hunter all hang about 10 degrees high. Still, a higher tier of winter stars remains prominent. Look for Capella in Auriga Castor and Pollux in Germany, and Procyon in Canis Minor to keep winter on your mind. I don't want to do that. And in the sky, it says, for several more weeks to come. So it can be in the sky, has every right to do that, but I don't want winter on my mind. You know what, let's just go ahead and knock Wednesday out. Wednesday, April 26th. Although Jupiter reached opposition and peak visibility earlier this month, on the 7th, it remains a stunning sight nearly all night. It appears 30 degrees above the southeastern horizon during evening twilight and climbs highest in the south shortly after 11 p.m. local daylight time. Shining at a magnitude of 2.4, negative 2.4, sorry, the giant planet is the night's brightest celestial object, with the exception of Venus, of course, which doesn't rise until morning twilight commences. Jupiter resides among the background stars of Virgo, 9 degrees northwest of that constellation's brightest star, which is first magnitude Spica. When viewed through a telescope, the gas giant's disk spans 44 inches and shows incredible detail in the cloud tops. New moon occurs at 8:16 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and its new phase, the moon crosses the sky with the sun and so remains hidden in our star's glare. Okay, so got all those out of the way. Let me tell you about A Time to Heal. And this is from www.shabbat.org. And the article is called A Time to Heal, the Month of Iyar. And it's by Sarah Schneider. You know what? First, let me tell you what Iyar is. And this is from the definition based from Wikipedia. Iyar, from the Akkadian, meaning rosette or blossom, is the 8th month of the civil year, which starts on 1 Tishri. And it's the 2nd month of the ecclesiastical year, which starts on 1 Nisan on the Hebrew calendar. The name is Babylonian in origin. Okay, so this article now by Sarah Schneider. The Torah counts the cycle of months from Nisan, for Nisan is the month that we were born as a people, as a nation, and as a higher order of unity called the Knesset, the mystical body of Israel. Just as a cell that makes up an animal has a life and an identity of its own, an equally significant truth about that cell is its contribution to the larger organism of which it is a part. This describes us so perfectly. We're this larger organism, this collective, and then we each are a cell, and we're supposed to be contributing. And so that cell has two I's. This is a capital letter I. Two levels of self-awareness. An I that experiences itself as a self-contained unit, a single, independent entity with its own nucleus and DNA, etc. And a second I that identifies the higher order unity, the animal of which it is a part. Similarly, we are both individuals and cells in a higher order unity called the Knesset Yisrael, the mystical body of Israel. Now, this collective entity, the Jewish people, was conceived, as it were, with Abraham and Sarah as they floated down the fallopian tube with Isaac and implanted in the dark womb of Egypt when Jacob came down with his 70 souls. There, they gestated for 210 years until when they reached the total of 600,000 family units, or root souls, they were born on the seventh day of Passover, when they passed through the Red Sea, the spiritual equivalent of the birth canal. Now the cycle of months, beginning with Nisan, defines a logical sequence of development, moving through the year from Passover to Shabbat, Tisha B'Av, Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur, and then to Purim, is a relatively smooth progression that makes sense. Passover is our birth as a nation. Then, in the 50 days that follow until Shavuot, we develop and mature characteristic by characteristic, day by day. And Shavuot is our wedding, the marriage ceremony between God and the Jewish people. Yet, now they say the Jewish people. I think, I mean, and this is an article on a Jewish website, but I would prefer, or I would insert there, like the Israelites or the Hebrew people, because it's not the Jewish people in the sense that we think, or in the sense that this was written. It's true. It's Semites. So some of these people that consider themselves Jewish, they're Semites, and it applies to them, but not all. Not all of these are Semites, are truly descendant of that line. So I just want to make that clear. So Passover is our birth as a nation. Then in the 50 days that follow until Shabbat, we develop and mature. Okay, I did all this. And it is the wedding, the marriage ceremony between God and Jewish people. Yet, as is always the case, there quickly follows a fall from innocence and a fall from grace. We sin with the calf and the spies, or with causeless hatred, or with other sins, and our world shatters, our temples shatter. That's Tisha B'Av. Yet, out of the ashes, the phoenix rises. On Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we pick ourselves up from the muck, clean ourselves off, do our repentance, and in doing so, repair our relationship with God. Yet something has changed, and it's actually for the better. For we know that those who have truly worked on themselves and rectified themselves stand on a level that even the completely righteous can't stand. Each year, we repeat this cycle. But what does it really mean? How do these vast historical processes play themselves out for us on a yearly cycle? What is actually being born for us on Passover each year? So the mystical writings teach that from the moment we're born, our soul contains all the wisdom and insights that we will ever absorb throughout the course of our life. Yet these quote-unquote lights are not yet integrated into our personality. They exist in potential, but are not actually part of us yet. Like that, they haven't been awakened yet. The part of our soul that is not yet integrated is called the makif, which means literally hovering, because it hovers around us, waiting for our vessel to stretch to be able to hold and contain more of its lights. On Passover, some of the new increment of soul, some new chunk of consciousness, comes in and becomes slowly integrated through the course of the year. Eventually, it must be absorbed so deeply that our instinctive and reflective way of relating to the world is now conditioned by truth. And what does it mean to be born? It means that a soul comes into a body. So each year on Passover, a new increment of our soul is born, in the sense that it now, for the first time, comes down into our body and brings with it all the lights and insights and lessons that we will absorb this coming year. Now, if Passover marks the birth of this new chunk of soul, then the month of Iyar is its infancy. And as every mother knows, that is a labor-intensive time. Newborns and young children require nearly constant care and attention. And so here, now in our yearly cycle, we have the daily commandment of counting the Omer. Iyar is the only month in the year where every day has a special time bound commandment to perform. This newborn chunk of soul is receiving daily work on ourselves. So in Iyar, we embark upon the first leg of our journey. The month of Iyar links Passover to Shavuot, and so brings us from birth to betrothal. Let's look more closely at what's happening. Every Hebrew month has a unique sense attributed to that month and corresponds to a different part of the body. The special sense of this month, thinking, ruminating. According to Rabbi Tzadok, it is a term that refers more to the thoughts of the heart than the thoughts of the head. And the part of the body that corresponds to the month is the right kidney. These two associations go quite well together. In the Kabbalistic system, so like from the Kabbalah, right, of correspondence, kidneys are the subconscious, instinctive root of emotion, as opposed to the heart area, which is kindness, strength, and harmony that expresses the conscious emotions. The test of whether a characteristic is truly integrated into a person is when the spontaneous impulses arising from the kidneys are always and only aligned with it. According to the Kabbalah, the chain of generations, the link that joins parent to child, is first and foremost a primal bond at the level of kidneys. Children inherit the parent's instinctive, unrectified, and also rectified roots of emotion. These are the raw materials, the psycho-spiritual inheritance out of which our personality gets built. Each family tree is both a bloodline and a lineage of neuroses, which parents transmit to children metaphorically through their kidneys. The children then rectify whatever they can in the course of their lives and pass the baton on to their kids. This is not only a spiritual metaphor, it also applies to the physiological level as well. First of all, the adrenal glands are attached to the kidneys and they produce and control the hormones that regulate our reproductive functions. And second, when Kabbalah refers to the kidneys, it is actually referring to the entire area of the body defined by the lower three sephirot, called the Nechka, Hod, and Yesod. Victory, splendor, and foundation, which include not only the kidneys and the adrenals, but also the ovaries, womb, testicles, and genitals. Thus, when the Kabbalah refers to the kidneys as the link between generations, it is referring to the entire lower torso occupied by the kidneys, along with the reproductive organs that produce the egg and the sperm and the hormones that will become the next generation. Every cell in a child's body contains something of the physical material of its parents, and this genetic material that is the bridge between generations derives from the kidney area of the parents. So both the physical and physiological transmission from parent to child occurs at the levels of the kidneys and the lower torso. According to the Kabbalah, the further something is from the head, the more unconscious it is. So these areas are more unconscious realms of the soul. Just as the physical transmission of influence happens outside our conscious involvement, this is generally true for the physiological component as well. Both nature and nurture are generally unconscious. The actual mechanics of conception and reproduction are not under our conscious control. And similarly, for our physiological transmission, it seems clear that children learn a little from what we say and most from what we do, who we are. They seem to have an incredible receptiveness to the more subtle energetic realities we create around ourselves through our thoughts. And so, We learn our lessons and try to become more conscious and do our rectifications and integrate them into our kidneys. We chip away at the vein of neurosis that is our family tree and hopefully transit a slightly more cleaned and healthy inheritance onto our children. That is why the greatest gift we can give to our parents is the progress we make in bringing rectification and consciousness to our lives. That's what it means to carry on their work. Now, as we've said, the sins associated with the month of Iyar is thinking, ruminating. This implies that our primary front of effort this month should focus on our flow of thoughts. That that is the place for us to direct our efforts in Iyar. The idea is that our patterns of thought define our patterns of life. And as anyone who meditates knows quite well, there are different layers of thought happening simultaneously at all times. Some are superficial and some are very deep. We can learn a lot about ourselves from paying attention to our thoughts. In general, that requires setting aside a period of time 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes for just sitting and watching the flow of thoughts that pass through awareness. You will quickly learn about your own particular brand of neurosis through the habits of thought you unearth in this practice. And that's just the first step. The second step is called labeling, where as soon as you notice a thought, you identify its category. For example, judging, coveting, predicting the worst. It is here that patterns begin to emerge. Wow, I just had 15 judging thoughts in less than 5 minutes. It's shocking to discover all the self defeating and spiritually unproductive things we say to ourselves in the course of a day. Now, for the third and final step, the idea is to cause truth to rule over thought. Once you have spent some time watching and labeling your thoughts and have identified the self sabotaging patterns that are actively arising in the present, it becomes possible to make use of a technique that's called the chassidut. I think that's how it's pronounced. Chassidut. The idea is that every spiritually unproductive thought is based on a lie. The power comes from concealing the untruth that lurks at its core. The practice is a technique that exposes the lie by speaking the truth that is its undoing. The counter truth serves as an infinitely potent antidote that dissolves the destructive thought at the root. For example, let us say one discovers a pattern of jealous thoughts. I want a husband like hers. I want a child like hers. I want a body like hers. A possible counterstatement might be, God knows my life's mission even better than I. He designed it, He wills it, and He is bound by an irrevocable covenant to assist its fulfillment from cradle to grave. Not a moment passes where He fails to provide the resources required for my next step in personal and spiritual growth. The blessings that I covet in other people's lives would only be obstacles to my soul's work. This moment is perfect. It has all that I need. I know that this is true. This technique, when properly employed, can dissolve deeply ingrained patterns at their root. It is extremely potent and cost efficient. It takes minimal effort and yields bountiful results. And it is the special work of this month. So I want to bless us as individuals and as a nation that we would be warm, wise, and loving parents to the newborn infant souls that we are everywhere around us and within us, that we seize this opportunity to clean out the level of thoughts, thereby dissolving at least one of the self-defeating patterns of our lives, and that we and all of our brothers and sisters should absorb the healing lights of this holy month. They should bring relief and recovery to all our ails immediately, and the space created by all this cleansing should pull the lights of redemption into the world now. That was awesome. And it was so very light being, so very elect one-ish. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Now I'm going to the reading. I'm going to do the cross first, beginning with the Emperor and Archangel Michael, organization and logic, structure and discipline, leadership. Opening to the 8 of fire. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things are happening at once. We might also be receiving a lot of communication with Mercury retrograde. Mercury, the planet that rules communication, in Aries and Sagittarius. Facing Sagittarius and Saturn. The Emperor's back. Uh-oh, it's the 3 of air. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's also the need to forgive yourself and others. That's, I guess, part of the journey toward redemption, maybe, though. 3 of air is back. Open to the 10 of earth. A very happy family life. Maybe somebody passed away, unfortunately, in some people's lives, or maybe this is a past event. Now, the will being read or something. Because this could very well be an inheritance, and it's here opposite with this 3. 10 and 3. 13 can equal a passing, can equal the energy of death. 13. 13 is also 4, laying your foundations. A very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. 10 of earth now at the bottom, and it's the 5 of water. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped, not seeing the positive of a situation, and crying over spilled milk. That's the oh is me card. And now it's at the bottom. I'm going to cut. I probably should have quit while I was ahead on the 10 of earth. Ah, very nice. Maybe somebody inherits even a home. This can certainly be about a home. It's our foundation. Did I just say this equals 4, a foundation? Contentment, peace, and abundance. A happy home life and the successful completion of a project. This card can certainly be about hearth and home. Perhaps moving or something. It can be about commitment. It can be about marriage. Our betrothal, maybe, like I just read about. Something jumped out. Aw, it's the 9 of water, prayers answered, wishes granted, and the 2 of fire. I was here shuffling in my hand. I got it like this now. I'm going to stick these in arbitrarily. I think that's awesome. The overall energy, however, is the 2 of earth. Too much going on at once. The need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. This can literally be about too much work, like working too many hours, working more than one job, and it's just like, it's weighing on you. Can also be about, yes, the need to make a decision about something earthly. Maybe like, should we buy this home? Do we move into this home? I just had that home card. Or do we enter commitment? Together, like who am I going to be with on this earth, that kind of thing. All that can come into play with this. It's also deja vu from hell, according to me, because that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the same crossroad over and over and over again, and the definition of insanity. Like if you continue to try to solve an issue the same way, expecting a different outcome, then that means you're insane by definition. And that's how this card makes me feel. It can also be about the need to sort of make time for like work and play. Like all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You got to have a social life. You got to have a family life, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, get your work done too. The feminine about herself. The masculine about the feminine. The masculine on himself. The masculine on the union. Overall, the outcome, and then the 3 positions that I had added, what the masculine would have the feminine sacrifice, so to speak, or do, in a position of representing Mary, the mother of Jesus. What the masculine is willing to sacrifice or do himself in a position representing Mary, the mother of James and Joseph. And here is Mary Magdalene, and what the universe would have the couple to sacrifice and or do. Okay, so feminine, awakening with Archangel Gabriel. Look at things from a different perspective. You're at a temporary standstill, and it's important to be yourself at this time. We're like in limbo, but we have an opportunity. So like, don't like look the gift horse in the mouth. Take the opportunity as an a chance to look at the big picture. Maybe you missed something. Go over something again. Um, may have may involve a party of three, one way or another. Not necessarily romantic, but possibly. Um, but it's a chance to look at things, and the energy, the opportunity doesn't last long, so you got to like take it while it's there. But that's our feeling. We're in limbo. The masculine feels about us or sees us as the queen of earth, who is thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. She makes time for those around her and takes a sensible approach and deals with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. So we have the energy, at least to the masculine, of Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. He sees himself as the two of water, himself as it relates to this union as the two of water. He sees himself as a partner in this, a 50-50 partner, and like a willing participant. I love it. A relationship that continues to grow closer. The positive resolution of a conflict. Because I remember a time when I used these cards for this spread, this cross spread, and the masculine saw himself as the four of water at that time, and I said, "Oh, he feels like he doesn't have enough cups." And up here was the other six. I said, he wants the other six cups," and they were up here. But he knows who he is now. Like he's coming to his own, and again, he's a willing participant in this 50-50 partnership. He wants to continue to grow closer. He wants forgiveness. He wants to extend forgiveness too. He wants to like start from the beginning, anew. I really think that's awesome. I love it. And he thinks, well, he's right about this though. He feels surrounding the union the energy of joy thieves, which is one of the things I just read about too. People coveting, people jealous, people hateful toward what you have going on because it's awesome, and they want it, but in doing so, they like um they like throw salt on it. We say. I'm trying to think of the like English phrase for it. I can't right now. If it comes to me, I'll say it. Overall, however, despite these folks, Six of Earth, this is all of you in exchange for me. This is the way the masculine sees the union overall. Himself, you, and then the two of you together as a unit. So the individual cells and the body. Again, like I just read, gifts of money, time, or effort, new career opportunities, receiving a loan, or paying off debts. This is the 50-50 that I was talking about. This is equality, equity, fairness, justice, balanced scales. Sitting here right atop the two of water. How awesome is that? So what does the feminine need to do? Release. Death to the old stuff. Let's let it go. Let it go. If you're harboring any resentment, here about this party of three, he's over the party of three. He wants only two. If you're holding on to any old baggage from your own life, maybe your own party of three, or just something from childhood, I mean, it could really be anything. Let it all go is what the masculine would like you to do. It's the end of a phase or situation. You're going through a spiritual transformation right now. Allow yourself to. You're a beautiful caterpillar right now, but you can be a beautiful butterfly if you would allow yourself to transform. He would like you to. This card, by the way, represents the sign of Scorpio. Maybe this is why the two of water is showing up as opposed to maybe the two of fire or something. Can be another water sign too. Can be Cancer or Pisces as well here. Or people taking on that energy similar to how the feminine is taking on the energy of the Queen of Earth. What's the masculine willing to do? What? Okay, he is so ready. Feminine, we better get ourselves together. I mean, look at him. Look at him here. The two of water and the two of fire. And this, the two of fire is one of the cards that jumped out before that wanted to be seen. You guys saw me stick it in arbitrarily anywhere, and then I shuffled again in my hand. And here we have this. He wants to be in partnership. Okay? Emotional, loving partnership, work partnership. He wants to work towards something, build something. that energy of build destroy that I kept talking about last week. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. If you don't want to build and contribute to co-creating, then you're destroying everything. He wants to build. He wants to build, despite these people that would like to destroy or see it destroyed. This is so awesome. The outcome here, the star, wishes granted. This is the other wishes granted card. The nine of cups or water was what had jumped out of the deck with the two of fire. This is the one from the major arcana. The star representing the sign of Aquarius or other air sign, Gemini, Libra, which this card also represents Libra for me, by the way, too. It represents Taurus and Libra to me, and it represents the planet Venus to me, too, which rules those two zodiac signs. So here, in front of us, although this applies, to it's the collective general reading, but what we have in front of us thus far is certainly air sign or again, that energy, earth sign or that energy, and water sign coming together, different combinations of that. And more water sign. What the universe would like us to sacrifice is some of our secrets. It's time to come up off the truth on both sides, feminine and masculine. Important we also need to start following, our intuition, pay attention to our gifts, using them. Not this constant fight within ourselves between 3 and 5D, where we want to, as a matter of convenience, jump back into 3D and try to think of things that way, as opposed to let me pay attention to, the message that I've been receiving and all that kind of stuff. But also we have to come up off some secrets. There's been events behind the scenes that's going to continue. That's the universe. But we also have fears that hold us back. And some of that fear is stuff that we haven't revealed because we're fearful to reveal it. Like, what's going to be the repercussion? What's going to be the consequence of me sharing this with my partner? That's what we have to risk at this point, according to the universe. I'll let you guys take a look at these really awesome cards. The Six of Earth, the Hangman, which a lot of people don't like, but I think it's kind of cool. I like an opportunity to take a step back. The Queen of Earth, the Two of Water, release or death. I love death. The Star, the Two of Fire, and the only funky one here is this Seven of Air. And this is upright too. You know what? I'm going to clarify that too. This is why they're mad. Well, we knew. I mean, this is why they're mad also. But this is why they're mad. Because it's just a happy family life. It's what we're all going to have together. What's waiting us. And other people can see that. Even when we can't, they can see it. Financial security and finding the magic in the little things in life. This is counting our blessings. This is appreciating life. Loving life. Living life. Take a look. I'm going to take it away. Wow. Wasn't that awesome? And speaking of air signs, perhaps a Gemini, I'm going to start with True Gem and the hashtag Creepy Deck for a spread. Opening to Control. This could be Mercury in Aries. Right? Gemini and like an aggressive, controlling type of energy. True Gem is back. Opening to Past Life. So maybe some kind of karmic energy surrounding us. Opening to Communication. So we've seen that twice so far. First the Eight of Wands and now this communication card. Something to look forward to this week. Past Life is back. And here comes the Mature Woman. Past Life is back. I'm going to cut. Now notice the Mature Woman is a brunette, but she's not that brunette female. That brunette female, it's just, she's not good. I just get like bad vibes from her. Speaking of Mature Woman, she's back here. All right. I'm going to get our overall energy and lay our cards. energy is this very Aries Ice King. And I know it sounds kind of crazy to say Aries Ice King, but from him, from this, what I feel is supposed to be like some sort of authoritative figure, I get Aries. From this lion, I get Leo, of course. And then from this back here, I get Aquarius, I get Gemini. It could be Libra too. I mean, that's another air sign, but I don't I don't know, for whatever reason, when I think cold ice king or princess or whatever, I don't think Libra. Maybe because of the justice, the balance, that comes with that sign. More Aquarius, more Gemini, and definitely Aries and Leo. That's our overall energy. Move this over. Masculine is the courting man, so he wants to go out. He wants to be like the traditional dater in a public relationship, like out in the open. Not an open relationship in the sense of, we each do whatever we want to do. I mean, we already have that. Like automatically we have that when you're in a divine union, because even when you're not quote unquote committed in 3D terms, you're still together. We're still married. So that's already an open relationship. Now what he wants is a relationship that's out in the open. But in his subconscious, he's thinking of something that's holding him back. There's something's pulling his strings. Feminine. Ah. maybe we know exactly who it is. This chick that I was just talking about, brunette female. And she looks like she's up to something, as usual. Surrounded by spiritual growth. So all of this, an experience to learn from, thankfully. There's a purpose to it at the end of the day. And we're just thinking about being the beauty queen, being popular, having a good time, being social, making new friends, hanging out with old ones, fun times with them. Head in the clouds. Crowning, it's the dark male. Mm-hmm. This has been going on. At the root, dating, which makes sense because courting man wants to take you out on a date. At the heart of the matter, freedom. Crossing the brunette female, sitting next to the open relationship, crossing the control, wanting to break free from this. This is like, just draw a line through this row right here. Everything will be good. She's causing separation to some people. This brunette female, because right now there's something going on here. Some of them may even be getting married. I mean, for some, this is for you. This is what's to come when this energy is overcome. But for some, they may even be taking some sort of steps forward, or they may be married already, or in a committed relationship. This is the masculine may be in a committed relationship again already with this, quote unquote karmic, and that's what this is. That's who's pulling his strings. But this is what he wants. This is what awaits him. And he wants to communicate with this one. This is with whom he wants the open relationship. The redhead or the blonde. And now there's no more cards upside that are right side up. They're upside down. I'm going to go to my numerology deck, beginning with individuality. And opening to manifestation. Individuality is back. Open to relationship change. Right. Getting rid of the old, moving in with the new is happening for some. Individuality back. And opening to new beginnings. What'd I just say? Out with the old that's at the bottom of that pile, in with the new. New beginnings back. And teaching and learning. It's all a learning experience. And it's all for us to be better. We want them to, even if it's difficult to watch at the time, we want them to, and we want ourselves to go through these experiences with other people and doing other things, other jobs, other relationships, other everything, in advance of our true one. Because we don't want these problems coming up when we start our new life together. You know, we don't want to have to revisit these ever again. We're learning the lessons now so that they can cease to repeat themselves. Okay. And I've come to parenting, which can be about, I mean, it can be literal, but it can also be like related to what I just read. You know, this is sort of a rebirth of our own, too. And perseverance in moving toward our foundations. That's what this whole month is about, right? The rebirth and the moving toward foundations. So that's beautiful. Going. So he's emerged. He will emerge a better man. And I told you he's ready. He's over this. Well, I don't know what we want to call him. And instead, he wants to follow his dreams. Okay. What did I just say? This is where his dreams are. This is what his dream is. This very public, open relationship here. That's what he wants. Yes, he's tied down in some cases. Somebody's pulling his strings, perhaps his purse strings, for some. But he's going to employ some patience because he knows he's going to be following his dreams. He knows he's going through a rebirth. He knows what he wants now. He knows he wants two of water. He knows he wants two of fire. He doesn't want sneaky looking brunette female. In the meantime, you pay attention to the music. I heard this message from God the other day, too. Pay attention to music. I said, huh? And sure enough, I got bombarded with some really good stuff. But that's now it's for all of us to do. Use those psychic insights and abilities that the moon came through with in this exact position where the universe wanted us to employ those things. Go ahead and follow that guidance. Pay attention to the music. That's how you're going to be getting some messages. That's how some of your communication is going to come through. For those masculine that are bombarded and being controlled by, the whatever that energy of brunette female is. It might not even be a real person. I mean, I'm joking in part. It can be an energy that's holding him back. It can be work. It can be a lot of things. But for some, sure, it is a physical person to whom it's tied to. However, again, it's all part of a lesson that we go through for spiritual growth. And then when it's done, it's done. We don't revisit it after that. The purpose is to learn these things now so that they cease to repeat themselves and we don't have to learn them together. Once we're together is when everything is we've been through all this. So we're starting all new. The 9 isn't just an ending, it's also born, like in Supreme Math. And here atop the Beauty Queen, the cards are saying, and the Spirit is saying, get your head out of the clouds and instead make, some effort, put some action forth toward all of this. Whatever it is you want, maybe toward your completion. Atop or crowning the union is financial discipline. Here atop the dark male. So one of the things that he might be doing is getting his, financial situation together so that he can follow his dreams. This is here crossing follow your dreams, crossing completion. He wants to finish up with this and still have something left over when he's reborn. He wants to be able to handle his business. At the root, top dating is nature in this 74. So I think this is about the energy of Taurus and getting grounded and toward the perseverance. It's all the things of the earthly. And I picked up two cards by accident. What's behind it is leadership. And maybe that was only for the purpose of exposing this to me, karmic completion. So again, we have these things have to be finished, have to be sorted out. We have to complete them before we're able to move on, whether we like them going on or not. And at the heart of the matter, it's environment toward freedom. The idea is to change your environment, to clear it of people, places, things that don't serve you. That message to the feminine, to the masculine, to everybody, to that end, so we're all trying to build these foundations, persevere toward these foundations. Lastly, to my Ascended Masters deck, beginning with Yes and Lord Ganesh. Opening to see the other person's point of view, and I think we should apply that to every other person involved. Always be open to seeing everybody's point of view. Yes is back. This is usually a yes, I've moved the obstacles, or I'm removing the obstacles. They'll be gone soon. You just keep pushing forward. And opening two, balance career and home life with Queen Isis, which again is what the two of Earth is all about, which was our overall energy before, and can be what this is too. Again, like I said, it can be an energy. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be somebody's married to their work. Maybe because of this financial discipline, trying to get their money up, they're married to their work, and that's the green-eyed monster, not an actual brunette female. And we got to learn how to do both. Right, how to dating, how to be dating and social, beauty queen, having a good time, hanging out with friends, having a relationship, and having a job. Queen Isis now at the bottom. Opening to retreat into nature. Boom, boom, boom. This is what's going to help us to get ourselves together, to how to figure out how to clear our environment, how to heal it, is by getting grounded, by maybe literally putting our feet into some grass. If you live in an area that's conducive to doing that, please do it. And opening to purification with white Tara, same idea, getting rid of things that don't serve us, detoxifying, death to it, release it. The masculine wants us to, feminine. It's not a mistake that this is showing up on our side too. We have to release. We have to release our obsession in some cases with his other woman, with his, especially if he's done. We've got to release that. In a lot of cases, we're who's holding on to his ex, not him. I don't know if you guys realize that, but some of us do that. We hold on to the masculine's ex by the obsession with it, and then he's got this karmic, and then the karmic, and let all of that go. He's asked you to. I'm asking you to. White Tara is asking you to remove anything that does not serve you from your life. Detoxify. Purification down at the bottom. I'll go one more. And it's spiritual law of attraction. Okay, we're going to put positive vibes out. We're going to get positive things in return. We don't need to, worry about what's going on there. Artistic expression. That may be something, a way that we can find to, like, sorry, I was doing too much, and a card jumped out. It's King Osiris, father, husband, brother, son. We may have a masculine energy. It may be our actual divine masculine with whom we need to heal a relationship. It may be our inner masculine ourselves. And this can be on either side. It can really be any masculine energy with whom we have a relationship that is in disrepair, that we either need to repair it or walk away from it. As part of cleansing our environment, perhaps, or detoxifying. We got to, do something with this. That jumped out. The overall energy is see the other person's point of view. And I was saying something about that, but I realized that I was doing too much and I stopped to shuffle, and then I had that incident, and now I remember what the heck that was. So maybe it wasn't important. If it was, maybe it'll come back. Um, Otherwise, we can talk about it in the comments when you guys tell, oh, it was this. The ascended masters say to the masculine, right. Specifically thought says right. Two members here of the Egyptian Parthenon sitting together. Ganesh is back with yes, so yes, feminine. I am removing, or I have removed, the obstacles from out of your way for your life. Now you do the rest. You persevere. You go out into nature and reconnect with it. You practice some financial discipline and getting your life in order. You complete the task that was set before you. You pay attention to the music and other communications that are coming toward you from your divine partner. You let go of this energy of this green-eyed monster that's at the bottom of this pile, because I've taken out everything else. From the angels to the masculine, it's the Five of Water. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped. Not seeing the positive of a situation and crying over spilled milk. Why, masculine? This is pretty awesome to me. Maybe I'll pull another card. Feminine, much better. It's the Ten of Water. A contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met, and you have trustworthy relationships. We may be getting some good news or having some fun times, maybe. Here is this very social butterfly, maybe with our children, or spending time with family this week. Feminine, that might be what we're doing. Masculine, you got this past life issue to deal with, and maybe that's why you're kind of melancholy here with the oh woe is me. You thought that you had gotten past some things and completed some things, and here comes Aries with this energy of Ice King and Mercury and miscommunication and confusion, and you're back here, Five of Water yet again. This too shall pass very soon, actually. Feminine, work, financial discipline. Okay, this is to what we're married, but we got to balance career and home life. Remember, says Queen Isis. Don't let the work outweigh this and cause you to forget about this, or your partner or anything like that, which is also part of the family, if you ask me. From the numerology deck to the masculine, surrender. Just let go. Let go. Close your eyes. Jump. Allow. But I think you know that already, and I think you're ready to do that based on the first spread, which made me very proud of you and also very touched, very happy to see as a divine feminine myself. And lastly, more of the same for you, feminine, trying to really drive this message home. It's moderation. So this is similar to that balanced career and home life, like not too much of this and not too much of that. Similar to financial discipline. Don't be a tightwad, but don't, just throw money out the door either. It's all about 50-50 balance. Notice this card number 14 is the same number as balance, actually, or temperance in the major arcana of the tarot. And that is because this is exactly what we're supposed to do. Work on, in this time, finding our peace and becoming more grounded and more even keeled. If you can, get out into nature. That's going to really help you to come into this energy and heal it. And I hope you guys have a really awesome week. It looks like we all should. Namaste, angels.